I want to play this clip from Bill Maher's show, which, boy, Bill, I just want to say this before we play it. Welcome to the Republican Party.
The basic problem we have in America is conservatives think the liberals are insane, and they're not completely wrong. Now, I don't think most liberals are insane, but neither do they make it clear they disapprove of the ones who are, and their cowardice in not marginalizing their own crazies has been their downfall. I couldn't get Neil deGrasse Tyson, a genius scientist and preeminent scientific voice in the media, to agree that it was ridiculous for Scientific American and The Atlantic to be claiming that separating sports by sex doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. Actually, it makes perfect sense. And it's obvious that it does.
Look at that.
And there's a lot of stuff like that on the left. And when conservatives see it, they say, I'm sorry, we're just not going to go along with reinventing society, often pointlessly, even if we have to cancel democracy to do it. That's what they're saying. They see gender as only a construct and sex is assigned at birth, and they say, we're not doing that. Transing kids by self-diagnosis with no age limit, no parental notification, and no acknowledgement of social contagion, not doing it. Asylum now covers any reason for anyone to come to America, not doing it. Homelessness is a lifestyle. Natural immunity doesn't count anymore. Whiteness is toxic. Penises in women's prisons. Welcoming the Intifada. We're not doing it. And so, folks, if we are ever going to get back to the old America, that's got to be the Democrats' part of the bargain. Stop coming up with radically new and often terrible ideas, and then in the next breath insist there be no debate about any of it. That if you don't see it right away and go along, you're bad, stupid, and deplorable. As if you were saying, duh, 2 + 2 = 5, isn't that obvious? Yeah, it's obvious you can't add. You can't just say shit. Math is racist. Queers for Palestine. Looting is cool. Healthy at any weight. If the men's football team played the women's team, it would be a tie. You can't just say shit.
Oh, poor Bill.
I mean, you can, but it doesn't make it true because you're not Harry Potter. Smug self-righteousness in the defense of some of the dumbest ideas to ever come down the pike is not a formula that's really working for you. Because here's one thing I can promise every liberal in this country. The Democrats can win every election from now until forever. And the people who now hold the reins of power will not give a shit and will not give it back if they think you're still nutty.
Yep. So that was great, and I know that conservatives are probably still rolling their eyes at Bill, but oh, poor Bill Maher, he's a Republican now. Yeah, he may as well be a moderate Republican because everything he just said is why so many people have left the left.
It's true. But the thing is, like, totally agreed. Like, the Democrats have to hold up their end of the bargain if we want to restore old America, so to speak. But the problem is, like, do we really trust Democrats to like moderate their own side? Like, they failed at this over and over again. It results in more and more violence. So it's like, that's why the Trump admin has had to come in here and restore the conditions that would make it possible to return to old America. Because there's not really a partner for negotiation anymore. They keep shooting us.
The crazy thing to me is the normal political dichotomy for most of my younger life was you and me. I was left, you were right. We agreed on most things and had light arguments on like the limits of tax policy.
Marginal tax rate.
Yeah, exactly. Are you kidding? We can't increase the tax by 0.5. I'm like, no, I think that now it's, okay, well, the tax thing aside, we'll figure that one out later. These people are trying to give children sex changes.
And tax wider neighborhoods more.
Yeah, exactly.
Open
the borders.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, just completely flood the borders with drugs and everything and just, say that we need to be compassionate on 10 million people that we don't know.
This is what I often said was remarkable about AmFest is that not only did you guys have me on stage, you got Luke, You have Ian of all people.
I fought that one, but yeah.
I won.
Yeah. You should have seen the debates backstage. No.
But
we had Jank.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we took some backlash for that, but it was, you
did the right thing.
Yeah, it was in the spirit of like, hey, you've emerged as one of the saner voices. We totally disagree on how to fix things. We will not agree on that stuff. But listen, we agree to do it, or to disagree agreeably.
I think it was the right thing to do. And this is how you create a culture where you say, we are redefining, we are bringing it back to what the left and the right was supposed to be. Yeah. People who can plainly and easily say, I'm sorry for your loss. I can't believe a psychopath would do such a thing, and not celebrate it. And when you have AmFest saying, we will allow liberals to join us and have this debate, you're saying this is where life is happening. Yeah. You guys off in the fringes, we don't want to have anything to do with you. You're violent, you're dangerous, and create that opportunity. So I always say this, there's like a viral story right now with Emma Watson, from Harry Potter, saying she loves J.K. Rowling now. And J.K. Rowling came out and was like, oh, wow, now you say it. After she was getting death threats and she got kicked off of
what was this change? I haven't seen this story.
The only change that happened as to why Emma Watson now has no problem publicly saying she loves J.K. Rowling is that we are winning. The conversation around this trans ideology is getting pushback. Emma Watson is a fair weather activist. Now that it's unpopular to be in favor of giving children sex change, she's going, J.K. Rowling's so great, I love her. And J.K. Rowling's like, nah. J.K. Rowling stood up for what she believed in and got hell for it. And these prominent personalities on the left will say whatever they're told to say by the murmuration of the cult. And my point in bringing this up, I say we have to give them, there needs to be a path to redemption, within limits, of course, for these liberals who said stupid and crazy things. If they want to come back into the fold, what I see with you guys and Jank, inviting him to come to AmFest, was saying, if you are willing to admit your faults and do the right thing, forgiveness is always available, and you can have this conversation.
And by the way, if you create a scenario here, and listen, a lot of these people deserve their just desserts, right? They deserve some of the scorn that gets heaped on them. I will say though, but if you operate in good faith, this is kind of like a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but like Fetterman, he's saying things. He's not voting the way we want him to,
right?
But at least he's saying some things that sound halfway, reasonable. And I think that there has to be. He's doing that actually pretty bravely, I would say, because he's lost all his staff. He's basically been completely outcast in the Senate, which is kind of against what most people do in the Senate. But you have to give an on-ramp to them to sort of be like, hey, we're not going to just make this so painful on you to say sane things.
Yeah.
Like it should require less and less courage to step out and say normal, sane things. And that can be a negative feedback loop that we do because it's fun to dunk on people.
Yeah.
And there's every rationalization and justification that they deserve it. But at some point, like, if we want this thing to get back together where people aren't getting murdered, like Charlie, for just engaging in debate, that we've got to find a way, and you've got to put some of this stuff to bed when they're willing to come back to a place of sanity.
Yeah, but it's like, even if we are able to just ratchet the Democrat Party back to like the 1980s, we're still going to get the same result at some point down. Like, we're just kind of kicking the can further down the road, because a lot of the stuff is baked into the ideology of leftism.
Yeah, I totally agree. We need to like win politically so dramatically and for so long that they realize that they have to go back into the into the
back to the drawing board.
Yeah,
well,
new ideology.
What I think will happen is younger people are looking for how to fit in and find success. So, I've been thinking a lot about recently having a kid, what I want for my kid, and
congratulations, by the way.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I know that most parents already know this, but your view of the world changes quite a bit. I've traveled the world. I've gone on adventures. I've seen so much. I am not concerned with any of those things right now. I'm concerned with how can I give that to my child and children. Young people, I was thinking to myself earlier as I was driving around, like, traveling. I'm almost 40. I used to love traveling. Now I much prefer to stay home with my family. And why is that? Why don't I feel, well, I care more about what my kid wants, but why did I want that when I was young? Young people are seeking to experience and absorb the world around them to survive, to grow, to develop. This is what humans do. Young people today, and I should say for the past 10 years, have been told by this liberal institutional apparatus violent, vile cult, it makes you famous. You go on TV and say whatever they tell you to say, you'll get 1 million followers. Be a nasty, angry leftist activist, put the black square, fit in, that's success. We have to redefine that. We have to say, no, actually, you do those things, we don't work with you. Your opportunity is limited. Don't marginalize yourself. That is not the future for you and this world. And what you'll see then is the young people who are growing up and absorbing the world will say, that's failure.
It's a dead end.
It's a dead end. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.